Listened to and viewed from over 95 countries from around the world, this is the GridCast, and I am your host, Danny Cox, and with me is my co-host. He's a box owner and a grid enthusiast, and apparently he's stuck in the 90s because he's wearing neon. I'm surprised he's not wearing a tie-dye shirt. His name is Conan Bruce. Conan.
Come on, why are you going to call me out like that?
You do look pretty bright today.
Let's see. So I'm wearing this hat because my father-in-law gave it to me for my birthday. I had my birthday a couple days ago. Finally turned 21. I'm legal to drink.
Boo, Seattle.
And he was basically making fun of me because I guess did the Seahawks win something?
Seahawks, I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
Weak.
So he sends me this ugly-ass hat. Right?
Really
and so
ugly.
I decided to wear it on the show just as a thank you. I do thank you for the present. Although I will never wear this hat again because I'm not a Seahawks fan. I'm a Redskins fan, not a Ravens fan. That's Anna.
The only thing I can think about with Seahawks in reference to the Redskins is taking out our quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
In a playoff game.
Ouch.
Yeah.
The other reason
Cool.
for the bright shirt is one of the guys I like to follow, Jeremy Kinnick, who actually was L.A. Reign last season. He's not with MPGL anymore. Not sure why. Hadn't talked to him in a good while. But I always follow Jeremy and his folks in his box. And big shout out, his box made it to the games, so they're training real hard for the games.
Sweet.
He was a four times individual athlete at the CrossFit Games. And now his team, and his wife's on the team, which is pretty badass. So anyway, they're going to the games. Shout out. Hope you kick butt.
That's pretty awesome.
It
hey,
is.
so before we move on, everyone head on over to www.thegridcast.com and sign up for our newsletter. And also subscribe to us on iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. If you don't have anything nice to say, just please don't say it at all. Send us a message if you have any critique, and that's fine.
I don't think we've ever gotten any bad comments or
no,
things on
we
there.
haven't yet. If you're going to give it a 4-star review, don't even do it. Just
I'm
5
okay
stars
with
only.
4 stars.
No,
3
you're not
hurts
okay
me.
with 4 stars.
No, 5
5
stars.
stars only.
5 stars.
All right, on today's show, we're going to talk about the head coach change for the LA Reign in Quadrant 1 and in Quadrant 2.
We're going to talk a little bit more about Team GridCast.
And we have the badass Mike Abgarian for Quadrant 3. So let's go ahead and start the show.
We love to lift, laugh, and improve. This is Björk Odinsdatter.
All right, the biggest news probably in this last week or so has been the head coach change, L.A. Reign.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to make a big difference or not, but
Ooh,
Dusty
that's how we're going
Highland.
to start out? Hey, how about Maximilian?
I just like
welcome
to
the MPGL.
Right,
He's already,
straight to the point.
He was already with the MPGL, but welcome. I think it's
Well,
here's the thing, man. First head coaching job, probably. Yeah. I mean, at least I don't.
Good for him.
I don't know that he's coached any CrossFit Games teams or anything. So I'm trying to think. I don't know if he's done any team coaching. So if you have, I'm sorry. If you haven't, then hey, good on you for your first head coach job. That's a pretty big deal.
Well, so he joined the team on April 1st as the director of training and strategy for the LA Reign. And he was a bodybuilder at one point, and he
Director
also...
of strategy? Do they have any?
Whoa. Yeah. Not very well, though. You know what?
Yeah.
Like, if he was director of training and strategy, and you look at the week 1, the strategy behind week 1, especially when they threw out the extra point flag when they shouldn't have, instead of using the women triad later on.
I mean, maybe he was
and
just a strategic guy in title. Maybe it was all the head coach.
Well,
maybe.
then why have a director of strategy? Like, why even say it then? Right. So, and that was against Miami.
Or maybe he was telling them to do the right thing and he didn't listen.
Possibly. Maybe Dusty Highland actually. Maybe Dusty Highland was like, "No, bro, I know what I'm doing," when he didn't, and then messed up that. Well, you look at the previous season though. Dusty Highland made mistake after mistake after mistake, and it really was only a matter of time before LA said, "All right, Dusty, please step aside."
This is why I like sports, right?
Yeah.
We're always talking about how it's cool when the same things that happen in other big sport, in other big leagues, are happening in our league, right, in Grid.
Yeah.
So you're going to have coaching changes. You're going to have disagreements between owners and management and coaching staff, and people are going to get booted and people are going to get brought on. There's all that drama, and that's what's kind of cool about sports. I do want to point out that Danny keeps track of all this stuff. I rarely can add 1 + 1. But we had
4, right?
It is. We had 3 unlikes on Facebook this past week.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure at least one of them was Dusty Highland.
Absolutely. And LA's PR guy. I guarantee he's one of the other ones. And after today,
the other one was
Max.
probably an LA fan. It might have been Matt. After today, we'll have 4.
We'll have another one.
I mean, we had like 200 likes and 3 unlikes. So,
right. It's not that big of a deal.
It's okay. But I wouldn't blame you, Dusty, if you said FUGC.
Right.
Yeah. Make a shirt.
I don't blame him at all.
FUGC.
But he kind of dug his own grave there. So
I mean, it is what it is. You know, you don't want to. If you're going to be the head coach, you got to have thick skin.
Yeah.
You got to take, and I'm sure he would. I'm sure he would take credit for what happened, even if it wasn't his fault, right? Because he's the guy. He's the guy standing out there.
You know, it's kind of funny though about Dusty and his involvement with the NPGL. I heard a rumor that he and a few other people thought that there's some big conspiracy theory of why LA was losing all their matches. Like the referees were on the other team's side.
No.
Or the formats were a certain way.
Man, that sounds like a reality show, and LA would have nothing to do with reality shows. I mean, that area.
Oh, no, they don't do anything with production or movies or making
conspiracy. Yeah, I don't think there's a conspiracy. The only conspiracy is just the fact that they were not well coached.
You know, I think that really what it is LA is used to having winning franchises. They have very good teams across the board in any other major sport. And to have a team be winless in their second year still, they're winless. They haven't had the sweet victory yet of anything yet, NPGL related. So that's pretty tough. And so Maximilian, part of his history, again, we said bodybuilding. He actually took the silver in 2014 Masters World Championships in weightlifting. So that was a really good
I'm not
history
texting,
there.
by the way. I'm doing research.
Yeah, I was wondering what you were doing on the phone.
Doing research.
If anybody who's listening to the audio version, Conan just pulls out his phone and just starts looking like he's texting on the show.
I'm kind of hoping that Tyler, being the professional he is only focused on you anyway. So,
but you have the face for TV. I have the face for radio.
And he's probably like, no, why is Conan on his phone? He must have a nude picture on there or something.
Well, please share. So, Max's history prior to being a bodybuilder and a weightlifter is he was actually a soccer player. He was a soccer player for a long time, and then he ended up tearing his meniscus in his knee, and that's how he ended up getting into these other sports. So his first test is going to be on August 23rd. It's going to be LA versus Phoenix Rise. And even though he's a soccer player, I doubt he's going to go out there and start peleing these 125, 250-pound stones out there, so he can't really teach the guys how to kick those around. He's going to have to figure out a way how to beat Phoenix in this Conan matchup on August 23rd.
Right.
You know, what's tough is that LA, to me, had their easiest match, if you can say easiest match in quotes, already in week 1 against Miami, and they lost. Their next games are against Phoenix and San Francisco, and they're
going to get crushed. We
see that the DC Brawlers, Phoenix, and San Francisco are the top 3 teams right now, and everyone else is kind of battling for those other 5 spots. So unfortunately, LA is going to run into a brick wall again this season, which they're going to have an 0-3 record. In my opinion, they're going to have or my guess is 0-3 record going into the playoffs, which means they're going to play the first place team, which will probably be San Francisco, in the playoffs and get knocked out first round again, and they'll have 2 straight seasons of no wins.
Got to call it like you see it.
Yeah, and that's going to be really tough for LA fans, and I don't blame Max in that regard, because Max hasn't had the opportunity to pull in whatever players he wanted to.
I don't know how much experience Max has with grid outside of, or with just in general team coaching. I mean, because we just don't know a lot about him. We know that he was a bodybuilder and was in soccer and all the things that Danny talked about, but we haven't seen any evidence. If there is some, then you guys hit us up on social media and let us know if we're missing something. But we don't see anything in his past. And that doesn't necessarily mean you can't coach a team. It's just that you're already kind of at a deficit if you haven't ever done team coaching, right? And all of a sudden you're in a new sport. You haven't really had the team dynamics. It's very different. I mean, when we talk to people like, Jeremy Jones and Kotler and Coach Chapman and all these guys, these different coaches who, and we can name a bunch of other ones that aren't in grid, that have coached teams or have coached functional fitness teams, maybe in the in the Reebok CrossFit Games or whatever. I'm going to stop saying Reebok because we're giving them so many plugs. And
isn't that an official name, though? Like,
yeah,
you have to?
I don't know if we have to. CrossFit will sue us no matter what.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, the bottom line is, Max, good luck. Congratulations on the head coaching position. Hope you can salvage something for the rest of the season. A win would be great. It would be an upset, which means it would be even better.
Let me give you a hint. James Townsend is one of your tallest and strongest players. He's got the wingspan to get himself wrapped around these Kona balls and these huge stones, I mean. So
I like Kona balls better.
Kona balls, I think that's going to be the names now.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know what I thought the
don't
official.
Don't bench him, by the way.
I thought the official name of these things were, and we've got them sitting over here. I don't know if you guys if Tyler can get a shot on camera. We got some that we play with. Dude, they're freaking heavy, first of all.
And they're huge.
But I think they're called like Highland stones or something. Anyway, look them
I almost
up.
want to go pick one up right now. But
I'll let you know they're very freaking expensive.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
If you don't need them, don't buy them. No, that's not true. Aleko, buy them.
Buy them.
Buy them. Sorry, Aleko.
What are you doing? No, those are great stones. They build your core.
Yeah,
they, a lot of back strength there.
I tell you, I mean, they should be expensive. They're freaking heavy.
Yeah,
but we have fun with them because we do wall balls with them. I say we.
We don't.
Well, we have a few athletes in our gym that do. It's pretty cool. But I like to play with them because they're, if you drop them, they're still heavy, but they're not going to break anything.
Right.
Which makes them better than our Atlas stones over there. I don't know if you get a shot of those over in the
By the way,
corner.
no one's doing a 250-pound wall ball with those suckers.
Yeah. Yeah, and as Tyler is scanning around the gym and everything, of course, you guys, as a reminder, we're still building out this thing. We're actually trying to put up one of those time-lapse cameras so you can see. We'll put up a video of like this whole place going.
Yeah, because we're getting the flooring in like almost ASAP.
Knock on wood, knock on rubber that we get it in the next couple of days.
Wood.
Yeah. So, hey, before I forget, I want to give another shout-out to our guy, Patrick McCarty, who does a lot of writing for MPGL, also writes for BreakingMuscle.com.
He's an announcer.
Oh, yeah, and he's an announcer for Grid. He does a lot of post-production stuff. You'll see him on the NBC versions of the matches or hear him. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I thought he was a pretty good article. He writes a lot of good articles.
Yes.
But his one of his most recent ones was about how last year he wrote an article talking about all these. Basically, I think he used Lindsay Valenzuela as like an example of these big name CrossFit stars who were just going to come in the Grid and just take over. You had your Sam Briggs, you had your Andy Thorstadter, you had all these big names, and then like you look around this year and you don't see them, or if they're there, they're not making any impact whatsoever.
Right.
And how he might have got that wrong.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's a pretty big of Pat. First of all, to come out and say, hey, I got it wrong. Or I might have gotten it wrong. And I still like keeping an eye on this because, I think to myself, is it because they couldn't be a good Grid athlete, or is it because there's a few things, right? Were their hearts ever really in it?
Right.
Right.
Sure.
Did they even know what they were getting into? Meaning, did they realize Grid is different than CrossFit as a sport?
But we've said that for a while.
We've been saying it since day one, and I just know it. I mean, as a coach for years, as a box owner and watching athletes all day long, it's all I do, watch movement and watching human movement and just knowing most CrossFit throwdowns across the country, you watch the CrossFit Games, they're tapping into all these different modalities, all these different domains, all this thing, and Grid is very specific.
Yep.
It exploits your strengths, not your weaknesses, and it's fast, it's powerful, and so it's very different anyway. So, Patrick goes on and starts, and I recommend you guys, if you haven't read the article, go to breakingmuscle.com and check it out. But it's a good article, and I think we're going to see a lot of this is to see, did these CrossFit athletes, these big name ones, these stars, if you will, from CrossFit Games world, is the reason why their heart wasn't in it? Was it because they didn't understand the differences? Was it because they just don't have that capacity? Maybe, did they not train properly? And it really comes down to the long term. We're going to see, can these athletes be multi-sport athletes in the functional fitness arena? I think you can be an Olympic weightlifter and a Grid star.
Yes, absolutely.
I think you can be probably be a power lifter and a Grid star.
Yep.
And I'm not sure
you can be a gymnast.
I'm not sure you can stand on the podium at the CrossFit Games. I don't think you could be Matt Frazier, stand on the podium there, and be a winning contributor to a winning team in Grid. I just don't see it.
You know what I can't wait for is 2016 Olympics, that come up in Rio. Take an Olympian who comes right off of that, who's going to retire from trying to do the next Olympics, and then you take them and put them right on the Grid.
Yeah, it'd be
and I bet you could see that.
It'd be interesting to see if that plays out that well. I definitely think it's possible.
Absolutely.
But then I think what we're going to see is more and more utility players that are really you have your Andrew Rapes. Those are going to be the stars of Grid. The guys and gals that can do both, like your Alyssa Ritchie, who gets pegged as a bodyweight specialist. Her grid score weights more towards strength than it does bodyweight, even though she's a badass little bodyweight specialist.
She's really good bodyweight specialist.
She can do both.
Well, she's almost made worlds for weightlifting.
Yeah,
I mean she's a serious weightlifter for her weight class. Yeah.
All right, I want to get on over to Quadrant 2 because I want to talk some smack with about GridCast, Team GridCast.
Let's do it.
All right.
Team GridCast. That's what we were talking today about in Quadrant number 2. I know we did it last week as well, but now we have an active roster that is eligible.
Eligibility. Hey, we're going to keep talking about them. Why? Because they're Team GridCast.
Heck yeah.
So we want to run through our team roster, and the reason we're going to do this is, first of all, to give a shout-out to our awesome athletes on Team GridCast, and I mean, they're supporting us. We're supporting them. It's definitely a team effort. We have got some amazing freaking athletes. And again, we said this last show, but in case you didn't catch last show, don't get it twisted. We're coming to win. That's it. You can look at the other teams. There's some great athletes out there too. But this team has, I would go, except for maybe, I don't know about some of the other international teams. I do know that Celtic Fireball Chasers, whatever they are.
Yep.
Those guys do have some grid experience. They've run some races. I know that they've done some of that over there. But the folks on our team, bar none, probably have more race experience than any other team that's at least in the top 10. I know there are some that are farther down the thing, and I'm not sure why they're not getting fans built up or what they're doing.
Right.
Doesn't matter. It's all a competition. We're at the top. That's what we're going to be. We want to point out our athletes because they deserve a little shout-out because they're amazing athletes. And B, we want you guys to go follow them. So they'll be setting up their athlete pages here over the next week or so. So be on the lookout for them. You can go to gridinvitational.com, go to Team GridCast. So you hit team link.
Yep.
All the teams are there. Go to Team GridCast. Become a fan if you're not already one.
If you haven't, why not?
Well,
Shame
I mean,
on
so
you.
Here's the thing. You'll get good karma in your life,
Yes.
right? You'll probably
Absolutely.
You'll probably get a hug within 24 hours from someone, and B, more importantly, you're going to be supporting research in Alzheimer's because we are part of the reason why we decided to do this is one, to highlight the athletes, but more importantly, long term, the athletes and the team and the coaching staff and everybody involved. We all have a connection. Alzheimer's does affect people in our family in different ways. So we want to support that long term. It's not just for the Grid Invitational. But moving on to the athletes, let's start with, I love watching this guy on Facebook and social media.
Heck yes.
He throws out some pretty good videos. Lewis Arnold.
He is badass.
Beast.
He's going to just rock the heck out of the
The
grid.
strength specialist, but he also had a video just recently of doing some backward rolls to support, so don't pull him out when it comes to the bodyweight stuff.
Right. Do you remember the NPGO, the back roll to supports last year? That's what kind of didn't do so well for teams. But Team GridCast already got that figured out.
We got it. And I mean, Lewis is – so I don't know if him and Arnold Schwarzenegger are somehow related just because they get this dude strong.
Right? God, he's strong.
Lewis Arnold strong. Next up, we got –
Daniel Skidmore,
yes,
the utility player. And then we have Matthew Hubbard. Now, Matthew Hubbard, this dude with his handstand push-ups is sick. You should also follow him on social media. And he also has a T-shirt, If Not Now, When.
Yeah, we've crossed paths with Matt since, I want to say DC Pro Days or even before. I can't remember. The Baltimore DC Pro Days.
Yeah.
We met Matt. And he's been a huge fan of the GridCast, and awesome having him on our team.
Really good dude. Definitely follow him on social media.
Whitney Thomas. Whitney Thomas is a strength specialist, and Tess Moore, a utility player. We got some strong girls, and really looking forward to watching everybody compete together.
You got Bradley Pritchard. He's a bodyweight specialist. And then we have Carrie Tedesco, bodyweight specialist as well.
Amanda Horton. And she's a bodyweight specialist. Aaron Taylor is a utility player
with a grid score of 74, by the way.
Think about some of this. When we point out some of these grid scores, these are equivalent grid scores to pro grid athletes.
Yeah, so if you guys want to look at a cool off-the-grid segment we did, we interviewed the commissioner, Aaron Bailey, out in Boston, and it was all about the grid score. And I asked him, what levels do you see pro athletes at and, people at the gym? So if you're 12 to 16 grid score, that's like me going out there, right? That's me. And then if you get into the 30s, that's usually someone who's probably best at their box.
Like Tyler.
Right. Then
Might
you get
be 30s.
Then you get into the 50s. That's when you're seeing good regional athletes, like really good regional athletes. When you get into 60 to 80, you're looking at pros.
So that's a great segue to the next guy, Devin Ford, bodyweight specialist. Holy mackerel.
Yeah. Grid score of
85.
85. What? That is sick.
That is totally sick.
Then you got Shayna Alverson.
Yeah, Shayna, if you've followed CrossFit, at all, like especially in the southern regions, I mean, Atlantic regions. I'm sorry, it's now Atlantic, right? It's not.
Yeah, it's not Mid-Atlantic.
It's just
Atlantic.
all Atlantic.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's out of Atlanta area. She's had a box there forever. I've run across. We crossed paths in I think. One time, like a long time ago, at a endurance cert. Anyway,
okay.
She's an OG in the CrossFit world and a really firehouse in the grid world. Like she I think this is much better, plays out much better for her as a sport, and she's going to be one to watch. Period. I mean, all of our athletes are great, but Shayna's really done a good job for years. Like she's been around, she's been competing in functional fitness, so. Keep an eye out for her. Michelle Benedict Skidmore.
Grid score 72.
72, and I got this wrong, and I'm probably going to get it wrong again, but Michelle was the bodyweight. Was it the bodyweight? She was one of the MVPs in the SAGL championship tournament.
Yep.
She wasn't the MVP. I know I'm getting this wrong again, and SAGL is probably going to correct us on Facebook. And I'm sorry, guys. I didn't look it up before I talked about her, but I just remembered she's an outstanding athlete. Anyway, you'll notice a lot of these players came out of the SAGL. There's a reason for that. It wasn't by mistake. We wanted athletes that were awesome. How about that?
Yeah.
and they had experience, that had experience. And SAGL, they were the first people on the block, right, at the amateur level to say, hey, we're doing this. And they've done a great job. They've already been through a whole season, finished out their season. And many, if not most of all of these athletes were in and around SAGL and were part of teams that made it all the way to the championships.
Yep. And then you have Brooke Haas. Brooke Haas, she is a hoss, right? She lifts like a mofo.
73 grid score.
Right, 73 grid score, and can pull out chest-to-bars or muscle-ups like none other. I talked to the head coach, Marshall, about Brooke Haas, and he could not say better things about Brooke Haas. She's an incredible athlete, and really excited to have her on the team.
I know. I'm sorry, Nico. I'm going to mess up your name probably, and people mess up mine, so I feel for you. Nico Vandevoort. It's pretty close. I think I got it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Out of Oord.
I'm thinking he might be a Scandinavian background, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Either that or
just a guess.
He might just be a Georgia boy.
Right.
There's a lot of Vandervoorts rolling around Georgia. 70 grid score, right?
Yeah.
So you're seeing a pattern here, like 70-plus grid scores for amateur level athletes. I guarantee you, I will put money on it. Okay, if you guys want to bet me personally, I'll put money on it. I'm talking money. I'm talking like nickels, dimes, quarters,
right?
Like big money,
like big money,
big money. Okay?
Stuff you can flick at me like bing, bing, bing.
I don't like paper money. So I bet you big money that several of these athletes will be on pro teams next year.
Oh, yeah.
Several of these athletes.
Yeah, no doubt.
Tori Ruckman.
Yeah. Grid score of 63. And then as a strength specialist, you have Jason Bourgeois.
Yep, I think it's Bourgeois. It's French.
Hold on.
It's French for really freaking strong.
I think let me brush that off, my shoulders off a little bit. Bourgeois. Because that was a complicated name. Anyway, he had a
it's French for strong
score.
as shit.
Damn right. Grid score of 74. This dude, the ladder's going to be no problem on that first match on the clean ladder.
And his hometown is New Orleans, and I love New Orleans.
So
we're going to have to we have to find some reason for Team GridCast to go to New Orleans.
So that is the team GridCast.
That
and then
is
the
Team
coach,
GridCast.
The coach is Marshall Crown.
Yeah. So if you go back, we have an Off the Grid with Marshall Crown when he was working with the DC Brawlers previously. He had helped work with a lot of their amateur teams. At the time, we were calling it minor leagues. It took a little while for the terminology to kind of get fleshed out. But I think amateur leagues is probably a better term than minor leagues. Yep. But Marshall has been heavily involved at the amateur level, coaching the Atlanta Assassins that went to the SAGL championships.
Yep.
A lot of grid experience. Lives, breathes, just wakes up thinking about grid. Yep. No better guy to have as your coach.
Had a little bit of guidance from Justin Kotler as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you work around folks at DC Brawlers, they won last year at the championship, doing pretty damn well this year.
Right.
So not a bad group of mentors to have around. So Marshall is going to have a huge impact in grid for years.
Absolutely.
Mark my word. And I hope he has a big impact in this area.
Yes, we do hope so.
Yeah, and let's talk about the general manager. Like, I don't know where they got this guy, but that was a find. It was.
Let me get the. There you go.
There you go, little captain in
me.
Our very own.
This guy would be the general manager.
Our very own Cox on deck, Danny Cox.
Yeah, I am. I'm really happy to be a part of this team and the general manager of the team. And what I like to do with the sport is I like to take the complicated and make it simple and really take a look at the sport and analyze all the different movements and try to help out. So I love doing that. I have a big passion for the sport, and I'm really excited about
the money ball of grid.
Yeah, that's our good. No. Yeah, so
that's more like Rain Man.
It is actually. I get always confused.
Wapner.
Whatever.
What's his Wapner on at 5? All right, guys, we have a great guest coming up.
Yeah, Mike Abgarian. This dude was awesome. When we interviewed him, you're going to see it come up right up here. And that dude is really fast. When we saw him in San Jose, this dude crushed the grid. Every time you saw a Boston Iron out there, and they were pretty close to beating the DC Brawlers, it was because of Mike Abgarian. This dude's amazing.
He's one to watch.
Yeah, amazing bodyweight specialist, and he wears a dress better than any other female out there. So let's head on over to the interview in Quadrant 3. Hey guys, welcome to Quadrant 3. I'm really excited about our next guest. He's a former collegiate soccer player, about to make his third trip in a row to the Reebok CrossFit Games in Carson, California, with Team Fraternity and his wife, Molly. From the Boston Iron, it's Mike. He wears a dress with grace. Abgarian, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Now, I got to ask you, and anyone who wants to see an incredible video, make sure to check out the comment section at thegridcast.com. But Mike wears an incredible dress when he does a 100 burpee pull-ups in a row to I'm Every Woman and Girls Just Want to Have Fun. So I got to ask you, how did this come about?
So one of our good buddies that we grew up with, he's an NYPD cop, and he would come to the gym, and he was like, he went on like a month binge drinking just like every night. I'm like, man, you're an alcoholic. You need to stop drinking. Like, he's like, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm like, you are. You literally, if I put a beer in front of you, you won't stop. You'll drink it. He's like, I could stop for a month. I'm like, no way. So he's like, what do you want to bet? And then I'm like, you buy me dinner for a week, and you have to clean the gym every day for a week. He's like, fine. And if I win and I don't drink for a month, you have to do 100 burpee pull-ups in a mini dress. And then we go out to dinner, and you wear that dress out.
Oh.
I'm like, deal. This is like a shoo-in. I'm 100% going to win this bet, So sure enough, he went a month, and it was pretty cool because he lost like 13 pounds in a month, literally
nice.
Just stopping drinking.
That's worth it right there.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. So it was like a win-win, and it was funny at the end of the day. So I was like, whatever. And
Where'd
then
you go for dinner?
Well, we went to like a barbecue joint. It was quiet, actually, which was nice. There was a shop next door too to the gym. It was a mini, like they sold skirts. Nice. Whatever. So we went down. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to get this. They're like, oh, for Molly? I'm like, no, for me, If we come watch, we'll give it to you for free. So they gave me that dress to wear, and it was really funny. It's good.
Well, you looked fantastic in it, I must say. Yeah, I don't know if you wore the dress or the dress wore you. But, yeah, you looked fantastic. So, you went to SUNY Brockport, where you got your college education degree in physical education, right?
Yep.
And how did the education you got there apply to coaching for CrossFit? And did it help you, or did you have to learn something new?
No, it actually was great. There was a lot of like the cues and keeping it like simple, keeping it short, not over coaching, not doing anything crazy, which I think helped a lot at the end of the day.
Okay. So I read that you were a soccer player and also a wrestler growing up.
Yep.
And you became a collegiate soccer player. We noticed in San Jose that you had a lot of speed on the grid, and I attribute that to probably soccer skills, because soccer skills, you work on a lot of speed and agility. Do you think that your history in wrestling and in soccer helps you with the speed on grid?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say that both are pretty similar as far as like the short bursts. Especially wrestling, you're in, out, real quick, short bursts, and then I think that gives you a mental edge as well as like kind of a transfer of like skill and all that.
Yeah, you had a standout performance out in San Jose, and it was pretty exciting to watch. How was that actually, being in San Jose, practicing with the Boston Iron, and also your wife being with the Baltimore Anthem, and a whole nother scene? Like, did you guys like trade secrets, or you're like, no, we're not allowed to talk? Did you like make pancakes and throw down like an iron-shaped pancake and be like, what up? Like,
I gave her a little shoulder bump on practice one day, walked right by her. It was all good. No, it was fun. We got to talk a lot. We actually I stayed. We got to hang out. We made some plans. Even though our hotels were like 10 minutes away, we at least got to have some breakfast, some dinner, a couple nights, and kind of hang out. She hung out with our team. Actually, the guy on my team, Kurt, thought Molly was on our team for like the first 4 days.
I bet.
Like, wait, you're not on our team, and then he like stopped talking to her as like a joke. Like, it was pretty funny.
Oh, that's hilarious. So, what is it like from last year to this year on the Boston Iron? Is there a big change? Do you notice a big change? And if so, what are the differences?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell from the score that actually happened with DC. They're so awesome. Like their team's really, they're great. Last year it would have been a complete. I mean, they would have completely crushed us last year.
Right.
And if you really watched the match and saw, everything that happened, like we took them into the last quad really, and it came down to seconds.
Oh, sure.
I mean, real close, and a couple mistakes cost us. But starting at once event 6, race 6 happened, and Sturgill got hurt, Justin got hurt. Then obviously the race changed for good, and that was like you really can't compare how we did. But if you look at those first 5 races, I mean, we were faster than almost every single team besides DC.
Absolutely.
And people, I think, didn't notice, if you just were watching from like an outside source and you saw like, wow, Boston got crushed. But, we were right there through those races. And, I believe our team is just so much more well-rounded, well-coached for sure, and just like really focused this year compared to last year.
You mentioned the injuries during the match. And I was aware of Justin Wright with his burpee box step overs and forgetting to take his sleeves off, right?
Yeah,
hurt him a lot there, and I'm sure he's fine now. That's not that big of a deal.
He was fine literally that night.
What happened to Ben during the match?
Same thing on the burpee step overs. He felt his back go. So once it hurt him on the burpee step over, and then the rest of the race, the thruster, the 1 rep. Him and Zardis are our strong guys.
Yeah.
Ben couldn't hit an extra bar that he was supposed to hit, which was big for us. And then he had to come out of race number 10, where him and Zardis both hit those 12 snatches, 10 or 12 snatches unbroken at 185. Once he was out, now we knew it was like no one else is hitting those 185 snatches, and it came to the point where it's like there was nothing we could have do to beat DC in that race.
Yeah.
And that changed the whole dynamic of that race, because we knew we were probably behind with that Elrod kid hitting those handstands like he does.
Well, that was crazy. No one saw that coming. I mean, we kind of knew because we heard rumblings of Ryan Elrod, but no one actually saw it in person, and that was sick for them.
Yes, I mean, we went into that. We knew we'd be a little bit behind, but we knew Sturgill and Zardis are tapping and going 12 unbroken. We've seen them do it 3-4 different times in full races, and and then we knew at that point. So Zardis, hit a 6 and then hit some 1s, but like it was, that was a huge loss for us. It is what it is.
Do you think that if those two players were healthy, that you definitely could have taken DC and possibly won?
I don't know about winning. If everything went perfectly, those first 5 races could have been a game changer.
Yep.
It would have been a lot closer on paper than it showed. And DC's, you can't be like, yeah, we were going to beat DC. That's our third roommate right there.
I saw that.
Yeah, he lives with me and Molly on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night.
Oh, nice. To train, I guess, right?
Yeah, he's on our team for fraternity. So he has his own little bedroom and setup and everything. It's good.
Nice. So speaking of team fraternity, so you guys are going to your 3rd straight Reebok CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
What is the training schedule like for you guys? And I know it's a team competition.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that team training look like compared to, like, let's say, a Boston Iron team training?
So we have someone who programs for us, I guess, for our team, as well as, Josh does all our programming for Boston. We do group sessions where we have a group focus of the day. And then everyone has their individual weakness work that, you have to hit like A through Z throughout the week at any point where you can put it in. But everyone, like me and Molly personally, we have a lot of deadlifting, we have a lot of rowing, a lot of stuff we suck at. And then,
right, so you're attacking your weaknesses there, right?
Exactly. And then, like Corey, who just left, he's a bigger guy. He struggles with some handstand push-ups and some of the more of the bodyweight stuff. But I think that's what makes our team good is because, we have the counters of, like, myself and Molly versus, the bigger, stronger athletes.
Sure.
The girl and guy side.
Now, what do you do for the Boston Iron side? So how are you doing for the training there?
Yeah, so Josh we have a bunch of testers coming up for the next match that we have against New York.
Yeah.
So I kind of do all our fraternity stuff, and then when it fits in like appropriate for the week, I do all the testers for Boston. I'm sure you saw that video, the one where it was 25 pull-ups and rope climbs, and I fell off the rope. Yep. Shit on one of them.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
I did. People always love the fall videos.
Yeah, so we just try to just fit it in when appropriate. If it's if it's too much, I tell Josh, and he doesn't make me hit any like the heavy weight stuff because if I have to do the heavy weight, we're in a little bit of trouble anyway. So
right. So you are facing New York coming up soon, and I know the first week of August, our Impulsive gym where we do the show out of, you guys are going to be using our space because we're putting up a huge grid on the outside. So yeah, it'll be really cool to kind of see out here when everyone hangs out and kind of prepares. So we're going to see all the teams the whole week kind of get ready for those matches. So pretty stoked about it. All right, so we have now come to this part of the program where it's called Gridlock. So 10 really fast-paced question and answer format. You ready to go?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Did it feel right wearing that dress, or did the dress wear you?
I think the dress wore me.
Beer, wine, or liquor?
Liquor.
Best cheat meal ever is?
Pizza.
Yankees or Mets?
Yankees.
Deep dish? You know what? Since you said Yankees, I got to go. No, just kidding.
You Red Sox or something?
No. I'm just messing with you. I used to be a Baltimore Orioles fan. Now I'm a Washington Nationals fan.
Yeah.
Because I'm in D.C. But Yankees always have a special dark place in my heart.
Fair.
So deep dish or thin crust pizza?
Thin crust.
Iron or Anthem?
Molly's right behind me.
So. Hey, Molly.
I'm going to go with the iron on that one.
Giants or Jets?
Definitely Giants.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
I've never seen either one of them.
Nanos or Chuck Taylors?
Nanos.
And who's going to win the 2015 NPGL Championships?
Boston Iron.
All right, man. Thanks a lot for joining us on the show. I really appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Good luck in the 2015 Reebok CrossFit Games, and we'll catch up with you when you come to the gym.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, man. See you later.
Take care.
All right, bye. Hey guys, thanks for watching us on the show today. In Quadrant 4, finally I get to convince Conan to take off this obnoxious outfit.
Yeah, so my father-in-law again got me this hat for my birthday because he knows I'm a big Seahawks fan. I'm not. I'm a Redskins fan. And it sucks so bad to be a Redskins fan.
It does.
It does.
We feel you, LA.
Actually, I like
LA Rain.
We know what it feels like to be LA.
Damn right we do.
We never win, and our coaches leave every few years.
It's the same thing.
LA should be our favorite team.
We should.
It should be our favorite team because they're just like the Redskins.
It feels like home.
I have absolutely no connection to Seattle Seahawks except for my father-in-law and our family that lives up there. And I actually love Seattle, but I hate this freaking green, and you will never see this on my head again. Maybe on Halloween and shit like that. But
when you want to be an obnoxious team, you can wear that.
That's right. And go Team Kinnick. Go Team Kinnick for the CrossFit Games.
Head on over to the gridcast.com/vote to vote for Team GridCast for the Grid Invitational, and also to the gridcast.com/donate to donate to curealzheimers.org.
Please do, please do.
So, thanks, Mike Abgarian, for joining us on the show. It was really awesome, and good luck on Team Fraternity at the Reebok CrossFit Games. And until next time, clean up your jerks and snatches, drink your beer in batches, and always dominate your grid matches. See you guys.